There wasn't really much backstory on anything. But we worked on the script and we added some stuff to make the characters more interesting. I thought more subtext.
Dolph Lundgren is a Swedish actor, director, and martial artist. Dolph Lundgren rose to prominence in the 80s and 90s, becoming one of the world's most famous action stars. Lundgren emerged as a versatile actor who was able to play the role of hero or villain with equal ease. Although his heyday was certainly in the 80s, he still appears in various television and film projects in the modern era. A multi-talented individual, Lundgren is a chemical engineer who holds a master's degree in chemical engineering. He's also an experienced martial artist with a 4th Dan black belt in karate.
I'm in a little smaller budget, not a lot of pressure. It turned out, because of COVID, that it turned out to be a bit of a mess anyway, but I didn't know that at the time.
If you enjoy these videos, please remember to hit the like button, as it does help us out a lot. And comment below who your favorite celebrity is that you'd love to see in an upcoming video. His full name is Hans Lundgren, but is also known as Dolph Lundgren. He was born November 3, 1957 in Stockholm, Sweden, making him 64 at the time of this production. He stands at 1.96 meters or 6 feet 5 inches tall. He's an avid football fan. He supported Everton FC when he lived in Europe, but developed more of an interest in international football tournaments such as the UEFA European Championship and the FIFA World Cup after moving to Los Angeles. He likes to play the drums. He enjoys mixing drinks using his knowledge of chemistry. Although Lundgren has never competed as a professional bodybuilder, he's been closely associated with bodybuilding and fitness since his role as Ivan Drago in the mid-1980s. In an interview, he claimed he often trains up to 6 days a week, usually 1-hour sessions completed in the morning, saying that it's just 1 hour a day and then you can enjoy the other 23 hours. He was one of the last celebrities to model for photographer Victor Skrebneski, notably for the Chicago International Film Festival poster. He speaks Swedish and English fluently, as well as smaller amounts of French, German, Italian, Japanese, and Spanish, but is not fluent in 5 languages, as often been reported. While Lundgren was completing a master's degree in chemical engineering on an exchange program with the University of Sydney in Australia, Grace Jones spotted him in a dance club and hired him as a bodyguard. Lundgren was whisked off to the United States, where he completed his final thesis. He's the tallest actor to portray Frank Castle in a live-action adaptation of the Punisher comics. He was a candidate for the role of the Phantom/Kid Walker when Lee Falk's comic strip hero, the Phantom, was optioned for a film adaptation during the 1980s and early 1990s. He was the first actor cast for the science fiction fantasy film Masters of the Universe. He was reportedly interested in the role of Ben Richards in The Running Man, which eventually went to Arnold Schwarzenegger. During the 1980s, Lundgren had relationships with Jamaican singer Grace Jones and American model Paula Barbieri. In 1994, he married Annette Gviberg, a jewelry designer and fashion stylist in Marabella. The couple decided they liked Marabella so much they rented accommodations there for years before eventually buying a family home there. They have 2 daughters, Ida Sigrid Lundgren and Greta Eveline Lundgren, both born in Stockholm. Lundgren and Gviberg cited the reason for living outside Hollywood was to give their children as normal a childhood as possible. Lundgren was in a relationship with Jenny Sanderson from 2011 to 2017. Lundgren became engaged to Norwegian personal trainer Emma Krokdal in June 2020.
Didn't do enough homework, so in this picture I wanted all the actors to prepare really well, and especially Scott, I spoke to him about his character a lot.
Born to parents with backgrounds in education, economics, and engineering, he was raised alongside 2 sisters in a Lutheran household. He quickly adopted the name Dolph, which is short for Rudolph. Lundgren has admitted that his father was verbally and physically abusive to him, and that his ill treatment inspired him to excel in martial arts. He also dedicated himself to his studies, graduating from high school with straight A's. On his father's advice, he then moved to the United States to pursue increased opportunities. After winning scholarships to various colleges, he studied chemical engineering at Washington State University and Clemson University. Karate became a major focus for Lundgren in the late 70s and early 80s, and he captained the Swedish karate team during the 1979 World Open tournament. Lundgren won the European Karate Championships in 1980 and 1981, before winning the Australian Karate Heavyweight Tournament in 1982. That year, he attended University of Sydney and earned his master's degree in chemical engineering. Lundgren's first role was in the James Bond film A View to Kill, and he played a KGB henchman named Venz. The experience was a positive one for Lundgren, who decided to quit chemical engineering and wholeheartedly pursue an acting career. A true leap forward occurred for Lundgren in 1992 when he starred in The Universal Soldier alongside Jean-Claude Van Damme. The film fared fairly well domestically, but it proved to be a major blockbuster on an international scale. Lundgren followed up with films like Joshua Tree and Pentathlon before receiving praise for his performance in 1994's Men of War. His somewhat unexpected role in 1995's ill-fated Johnny Mnemonic proved to be Lundgren's last major appearance in a theatrical release for 15 years. During the next decade and a half, Lundgren was involved in an astounding number of straight-to-video films. He returned to theaters with Icarus, a Canadian-produced action film that had a limited release in the United States. Lundgren returned to theaters in true form when he booked a role in 2010's The Expendables. In 2013, Lundgren starred alongside Steve Austin in The Package. In 2021, Lundgren starred and directed the action film Castle Falls as Richard Erickson in his first feature film directed in nearly 12 years.
Backstory and things without being stressed, so that when you show up on set, it's an easier exercise of being more reactive rather than acting.
Today, Dolph Lundgren is one of the most recognizable faces in Hollywood. He starred in more than 80 films, almost all of them in the action genre. He makes money through acting and brand endorsement deals. He can easily earn $4 to $5 million in a given year. Some of his highest grossing films include Masters of the Universe, The Punisher, Men of War, The Expendables, and Creed. He has a net worth of $18 million. Lundgren splits his time between Stockholm and Los Angeles. He previously owned a house in the Hollywood Hills. Built in 2009, the hillside home combines a rugged design palette of steel, concrete, stone, and glass across 5,230 square feet. A ficus garden marks the entry, leading into a 3-story floor plan that ascends to a rooftop deck overlooking the city below. Lundgren kept things about the same during his stay. The only change was converting one of the 2-car garages into a gym. Elsewhere, there are 4 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, a formal dining room, an open-concept kitchen, and a movie theater. A custom floating staircase navigates the interior, leading to a private suite with a soaking tub and double-sided fireplace. Small balconies and patios add some outdoor living space, and on the side of the property, an infinity pool cascades into a fountain. He owns the following vehicles: a Ferrari FF, a Ferrari 612 Scaglietti, a Toyota Prius, and a Lincoln Navigator.